Your news for the state of Tennessee in about 10 minutes. Tennessee in 10 starts now.
I'm Marius Payton. Thanks so much for joining us for Tennessee in 10. Severe weather caused widespread damage across the Volunteer State, from toppled trees, damaged homes, and power outages. Many of you saw and experienced it all. The National Weather Service confirmed tornadoes here in the Mid-State Sunday night includes Giles County, Murray County, and Lawrence County. The tornado that hit Lawrence and Murray counties were classified as EF1 tornadoes. The twister that hit Murray County had peak winds of 90 miles per hour. The National Weather Service says the tornado uprooted several trees and blew the roofs off of a few homes as it made its way into Columbia. Officials say the tornado damaged the roof of the Columbia State Community College and left a trail of destruction along the Duck River.
I'm Ariana Poindexter. Severe weather hitting spring break travelers hard at Memphis International, triggering delays, cancellations, and waits stretching past 24 hours. Passengers inside the terminal were sleeping on the floor with lines snaking through the gates as travelers scrambled to rebook. The scene leaving some travelers speechless.
It was an amazing sight, something I've never seen. I've been flying all my life.
I fly a lot, and I've never, ever experienced anything like that before.
Weather is still disrupting flights across the country, so airlines are urging all travelers to check directly with their carriers for the most up-to-date information.
Hello from the WVLT Newsroom. I'm Will Puckett. Well, cleanup continues across East Tennessee after strong storms worked their way through the region Sunday night into Monday morning. We were able to get this video of a tree that fell through a Knox County home. Luckily, no one was there at the time and no one was hurt. We did speak with a neighbor who says that his wife was actually awoken by noise during the night, but they weren't able to see the damage until the morning.
She heard a noise, thought that something possibly hit our house. Looked out, did not see anything. Then when I got up and got ready to leave for work about 6:15, that's when we came upon the tree blocking our driveway from getting out. Took a few pictures. We called the homeowner and let them know what had happened. And that was just unbelievable.
Now, this is a video of only some of the damage in Knox County. In Union and Granger counties, they were also hit hard by the storms. Several roads were actually shut down because of downed trees and power lines. As many as 14 roads alone in Union County were closed at one point. Crews spent most of the day clearing all of the debris across East Tennessee as snow began to fall during Monday.
All right, taking a look at our First Alert weather. First Alert meteorologist Stefano DiPietro here. Kind of cold out there this morning, but you're telling us a warm-up is on the way.
Well, we have great relief in sight, Marius, for the upcoming weekend. We're going to get actually much more summer-like by Saturday and Sunday. So barely getting back to 40 today. That's if we're lucky. We'll be in the 70s by the end of the week and in the low 80s by the upcoming weekend. How much rain is that going to come with? Well, not a lot whatsoever. Maybe an isolated shower tomorrow, then another one on Monday, but the sensible weather stays pretty calm. Your chance of rainfall is almost negligible over the next couple of days. We have good sunshine today despite that cold. Here comes some clouds overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So we're all going to wake up rather cloudy with maybe that stray drizzle or an isolated shower. And as we continue into the afternoon, we have more sunshine coming our way, and sunshine and warmth will win out the rest of the week, Marius.
All right, Stefano, thank you. New details on the investigation into the deadly blast at an explosives plant in McEwen reveals there were no working sprinklers or fire protection systems in the building where the explosion happened. That's according to the U.S. Chemical Safety Board, which called the blast one of the deadliest industrial incidents to happen in the U.S. in years. 16 workers were killed and several others were hurt. The explosion destroyed Building 602, which had about 24,600 pounds of explosive materials in the building. CSB says several AES operators were pouring highly explosive mixtures into cast boosters on the morning of the blast. The first explosion created a pressure wave that set off additional explosives in the building. The blast was all so powerful that it registered as a small earthquake. The CSB's investigation is ongoing, so it is likely that we will get more details on that deadly blast. A Clarksville, Montgomery County teacher reportedly showed students an inappropriate photo on his personal device by accident. It happened on March 9th at the Montgomery Central High School. The teacher, Matthew Vetter, is under investigation. Officials say the inappropriate photo was seen briefly while he was showing an appropriate photo to a student in class. The school district says he is working off school property pending the outcome of that investigation.
We are following a developing story this morning. A girls basketball coach at Collierville Middle School is in jail accused of trying to move 2 pounds of cocaine. Homeland Security agents flagged a suspicious package Friday, and deputies say they found 2 pounds of cocaine inside. Shelby County deputies searched the home where the package was delivered and arrested Coach Starry Taylor there. Taylor is now facing possession with intent to distribute charges, along with a felon in possession of a firearm charge. A judge set his bond at $250,000. Collierville Schools has not responded to our request for comment.
Well, today lawmakers could decide to advance a bill that would do away with Tennessee's grocery tax. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree that getting rid of the tax would help families save, but they can't agree on how it should be paid for. Right now, the Tennessee grocery tax generates about $800 million a year. That goes towards things like infrastructure, education, safety, and water. Republicans have proposed 2 bills that would remove the tax entirely, but neither explains how they'd make up for the lost money. Today, Nashville Democrat Afton Bain's bill is up for its first reading. Her plan would make up the $800 million by closing corporate tax loopholes. The Tennessee House passed 3 immigration bills Monday amid protests outside the chamber yesterday. The bill now moves on to the Senate. The first bill would make it a crime to be in Tennessee as an undocumented immigrant. Anyone with final deportation orders or who has previously been deported or denied entry into the U.S. could face a misdemeanor if picked up by police. The second bill would require K-12 students to provide their citizenship or immigration status when enrolling in public school. That information would then be reported to state education departments each year. A previous version of the bill would have allowed schools to charge undocumented students tuition or remove them if they could not pay. That part was dropped from the bill. Representative Gloria Johnson questioned the cost of the student documentation bill during a floor debate, to which Representative William Lambert disputed.
Why would we spend $55 million when we already know that all kids have the right under our Constitution to attend school?
I hear that 87% of all statistics are made up on the spot, including the 55 million you just stated.
The third bill requires state, city, and county government agencies, including school districts, to verify that the people they hire have legal status to work in the U.S. Failure to comply would jeopardize state funding for that agency or local government. Top Republicans say the legislative package is an effort to make Tennessee the toughest state in the nation on illegal immigration. Data mining facilities would have to get approval from local governments before they could be built under 2 proposed bills. Both the House and Senate are considering this. Under the bills, public meetings to discuss such facilities would require at least a 21-day notice published in a county newspaper. The notice must also be placed on the local legislative body's official website and posted in at least 3 places where the proposed facility would be constructed. And today, the House is set to discuss a bill that would require public and charter schools to limit screen time. They want to swap it out for more in-person teacher-led instruction. The bill would also ban elementary students from using social media platforms on school internet. Under the measure, parents would receive information regarding their child's device use.
Knox County leaders and McNabb Center leaders have broken ground on a state-of-the-art new high school that's supposed to help students who are in the midst of addiction. This new high school will treat students struggling with alcohol and drugs while also keeping them on track to graduate. Now, the McNabb Center started this program 5 years ago. They help nearly 20 kids currently, but the new center, they'll be able to serve more than 60 while getting critical outpatient care. The students will also be able to take classes at the center, something Executive Vice President Mary Katsika says is crucial.
We know that oftentimes families and kids struggle with making the decision of, do I continue to attend school or do I seek out treatment? Oftentimes when you're seeking out treatment, there's not an educational component to it. So this environment would help provide both those things, where someone doesn't have to choose between the two and can still thrive and experience education and the educational system like they regularly would through any other school system.
Elevate High School is expected to open sometime this fall.
And we want to give a shout out to Memphis's own Eric Gails. He was a guitarist in Sinners, which saw 4 Oscar wins Sunday night: Best Original Screenplay, Score, Cinematography, and Actor. Gails, a native Memphian, also performed on the Oscar stage the song I Lied to You, which saw several guest stars grace the stage for Hollywood's biggest night.